Students, hope you are fine. Today we'll see one of the important topic that comes under the midwifery and obstetrical nursing. That comes obstetrical emergency. Emergency, it is a crisis situation. As a nurse and the midwife, we have to take care much actions to find out early problems and to prevent the complications and to bring out a healthy labor outcome. So we have to see not only one life, it has two lives, that is the mother and the fetus. So life and death, it is a crisis situations that comes in front of the nurses. So always the nurses have to be very much calm, patient and give a support to the mother. They will be very much conscious regarding the fetus survival and their outcome. So we have to be very much care while giving a care in the emergency situation. So obstetrical emergency, it is a life-threatening situation that happens for the mother, and we have to give a prompt care in order to prevent the complications. So we will see, to prevent this maternal mortality morbidity, first we have to know about what are the obstetrical emergency. So we will list down what are the conditions comes under obstetrical emergency. First one is cord prolapse. Cord prolapse means the descent of the umbilical cord or prolapse of the umbilical cord below the presenting part. Even after the rupture of membrane, it can come out through the vagina or it can lie along the presenting part. So what happened? The cord will be compressed and this will lead to hypoxia to the fetus. Fetus distress will happen and fetal death can happen. So higher perinatal mortality rate is there in the cord prolapse. Second one is postpartum hemorrhage. This is a severe condition that takes place usually in the developing countries because of the lack of referral services or like that. Postpartum hemorrhage after the delivery of the fetus, this is the third stage complications. Bleeding that takes place in the genital tract after the delivery of the fetus happens before the expulsion of the placenta or after the expulsion of the placenta or till the 6th week of puerperal period. That is known as the postpartum hemorrhage. Then next, the third condition is antepartum hemorrhage. Antepartum hemorrhage means this during the pregnancy period, 28 weeks ke baad, this can happen till the before the intranatal period or during the delivery time. So here two conditions comes, placenta previa and abruptia placenta. So what is placenta previa? The placenta will situated in the lower pole of the uterine segment is known as placenta previa. So here varying degree of placenta previa is there, type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. Type 4 is more complication and it is having a relation with the cervical dilatation. So if the full cervical dilatation also, the placenta will lie in the central part of the cervix. So then next one is abruptia placenta. In placenta previa, painless vaginal bleeding will be there. In abruptia placenta, painful vaginal bleeding will be there. In abruptia placenta, two types of abruptia placenta is there. Revealed one, concealed one, and they can have mixed also. What is abruptia placenta? The placenta, early separation of the placenta and the blood clot will be formed in between or insinuated in between the placenta and the uterine wall, and it will form like a revealed type of vaginal bleeding. The vaginal bleeding we can see outside or concealed type. Concealed type is very much dangerous and it can go with the cochlear uterus and severe damage to the uterus and the fetus. This is a serious life-threatening situation for the women. And another condition, fourth condition is amniotic fluid embolism. The amniotic fluid will comes into the maternal circulations and the women will go with the respiratory distress and maternal exhaustion will take place and brain cells will be affected, heart will be affected, heart failure, like that complication can happen. And severe type of anemia. Anemia, if suppose the woman having less than 7 gram deciliter of hemoglobin and she is having excessive bleeding during the labor period and she can even go with the cardiac arrest situation. So severe anemia also considered as an important obstetrical emergency situation. And heart cardiac diseases, heart failure. And next one is severe type of eclampsia or pre-eclampsia. That is after 20th week of pregnancy, anytime the BP can be increased more than 140 by 90 mmHg and they have the edema and proteinuria. So this woman can have the chance of getting convulsion and they will go with a syndrome known as HELLP syndrome, hemolytic, elevated liver enzymes and low platelet count, and whole the body will be affected for the women. This is also very much important serious condition that has to be treated in the ICU, and during the delivery time we have to more conscious on controlling the convulsions and the BP. The next another condition is fetal distress. Fetal distress, variation of FHR of the fetus may be of reason of meconium stain, early passing of meconium, or due to the reason of tangled cord. That is a cord around the neck. Single loop can be happen, or the double loop or numerous loops. So this can severely compress the neck of the fetus, and the fetus hypoxia can be happen, and the fetus can even go with the death of the fetus can happen. And if you see in pregnant time, another one of the situation that mainly happen in the ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy means the fertilization will take place, and the fertilized embryo, what happen, it will grow outer than the normal implantation site, maybe in the tube. Tubal pregnancy is more common, and when the tube is burst, this can even go with the maternal distress, and the mother can even die due to this ectopic pregnancy. And another topic is shoulder dystocia. Shoulder dystocia means difficulty of the shoulder to deliver. What happened here? The shoulder, anterior shoulder will be impacted in the pelvic regions, and the shoulder cannot be delivered, and the baby can go with the birth injuries. So difficulty in deliver the babies. And if you see obstructed labor, the labor, prolonged labor will be there, more duration, 18 hours more than duration will be there, and abnormal uterine actions will be there. These all can lead to some of the obstructed labor for the women, and such as malpresentations like a compound presentation, shoulder line, transverse presentation. So if we are not regularly monitoring and find out in the antenatal period, these are the condition can go with obstructed labor during the labor. And another severe condition the women can get, that is known as the uterine rupture. Rupture of the uterus. Rupture of the uterus, complete rupture can happen, or incomplete rupture can happen. Complete rupture, this will happen in the fundal region, and the whole of the uterus will be ruptured at the peritoneum, and the fetus and the placenta can come out and lie inside the peritoneal cavity. The sudden death of the fetus, and if we are not recognizing the women or resuscitation, the women can also go with the death. Then next, incomplete rupture. This rupture mainly happen in the lateral part of the uterine cavity, and even it can go with the cervix or the vaginal tract. So this can even go with the bleeding for the woman. Usually the pregnancy and the labor time, the main death of the mother is due to the bleeding. Bleeding, what happen? Hypovolemia. Hypovolemia leads to shock. Shock will leads to circulatory collapse, and all the organs will be affected, maternal death. If the mother cannot be saved, the fetus cannot be saved. So these are the some of the important topics that comes under the obstetrical emergency. So today we will start with the first topic, that is cord prolapse. So I told the cord prolapse, prolapse of the umbilical cord. So the umbilical cord, it is a connection between the mother and the fetus to transport the nutrition, oxygens, and all the exchange functions will take place between the umbilical cord. If the umbilical cord during the labor, it will come and lie near the presenting part or below the presenting part, that condition is known as umbilical cord prolapse. So here we have to see how the membranes are. If the membranes are intact or ruptured. If the membrane is intact, then the condition can of two things. One is cord presentation, another one is occult cord prolapse. So what is meant by occult prolapse? Occult prolapse means here amniotic membranes will be intact. Intact means not ruptured, and the umbilical cord will be present on the side of the presenting part. Presenting part means head. Near the head side, the umbilical cord will be present, and the membranes will be intact. That is known as the occult cord prolapse. Then next one is cord presentation. Cord presentation means the membranes will be intact, but the umbilical cord will be comes and lie in front of the presenting part. So here, what is the difference in occult prolapse? Occult prolapse we cannot recognize very easily. So FHR variation will be there. Ultrasonography only we can find out. If we are seeing vaginal examination also, we cannot find out the occult prolapse. But cord presentation, what we can do, when we are doing some vaginal examination, we can see the pulsation of the cord that is lying near the presenting part. Like that we can identify. The next one is cord prolapse. Cord prolapse means the membranes will be ruptured, and the umbilical cord will be comes and lie in front of the presenting part. That mother will complain something is come out through the vaginal. In our naked eye we can see the umbilical cord prolapse. So these are the main types of umbilical cord prolapse, that is occult prolapse. Then next one is cord presentation. Then next one is cord prolapse. So based on the how the cord is lying, and second one is how the membranes, whether the membrane is intact or whether the membrane is ruptured, we can decide. So here if you see the incidence, 1 in 300 pregnancies, the cord prolapse is common in our India, and we could have early recognized the problem, then we can treat it very easily. Early recognize, mother has to feel the fetal movement, FHR. When the woman is in the labor period, we can find out the FHR, how the FHR variation is there. So here, when the umbilical cord prolapse is there, that will go with the compression of the umbilical cord, then this will lead to hypoxia and anoxia. So we have to monitor the FHR. So when the FHR variation is there, we can identify whether any cord prolapse is there. And when we see the vaginal examination or observation, we can find out through the vagina, the umbilical cord is coming out, or rupture of membrane is there or not rupture, whether the membranes are intact. So we should not do hurry-burry anything, pulling the cord or pushing the cord or putting the cord inside the vagina, nothing we should do. We should be very much patiently do the procedure. First one is we have to find out the FHR, and we have to see whether the fetus is alive or fetus is dead. According to the obstetrician order, we can assist the delivery, and we can prepare the labor tray set, and we can ready for the woman. Whether the woman has to go with a vaginal delivery or whether the woman has to go with a cesarean section. So the obstetrician will decide what the action has to be done. So here what we have to do, if the baby is dead, what we can do, we can wait for the spontaneous expulsion of the fetus, or if the spontaneous expulsion is not coming, we can go with the evisceration or pleotomy procedures and destructive operation method, and we can deliver the fetus. If the baby is alive, our aim has to emergency, we can go with the cesarean section. If favorable circumstances is there, we can go with assisting the vaginal delivery. So when the vaginal delivery happens, we can go with preparing the tray for a vacuum or the forceps. According to the decision of the obstetrician, they can conduct the delivery. Then next one is emergency cesarean section. In order to save the baby, till the going for the cesarean section, we can make some measures like postural treatment. Postural treatment means we can change the position of the woman, like tender leg position, the next exaggerated Sims position. Okay, this position, this will be chest positions. So these positions, what happen? This will keep the umbilical cord in order to prevent the compression. And second one is Baker's method, filling the normal salines into the uterine cavity, or amnio infusion methods, bladder filling, amnio infusion method. So these are the procedures we can give. And next one is with a gloved hand, we can keep inside the umbilical cord till the vaginal delivery or till the cesarean section is happen. Then next we can put inside the umbilical cord, then rapidly we can immediately conduct the vaginal delivery. If any situation is there, we can go with the cesarean section, emergency cesarean. This is the main indication. Emergency cesarean section can prevent the perinatal mortality rate during the cord prolapse. If favorable situation is there, with all these measures, we can go with the vacuum and forceps delivery, and we can save the conduct the vaginal delivery. If favorable like malpresentations are there or fetal distress is there, like that situation is there, we can go with the emergency cesarean section, and we can save the fetus life. So this is the emergency situation. As a nurse, we have to consciously assess the condition of the woman, find out the FHR, what is occult prolapse is there. Then next with the vaginal examination, we can note whether the cord presentation or cord prolapse is there, and we can go with the life-saving measures to save the fetus part. That is the best thing is immediate cesarean section, and some other management like postural management is there, filling of water is there. The next one is with the gloved hands we can keep the prolapse. Then next we can conduct the vaginal delivery, or we can go with the emergency cesarean section. I hope you have understood about the cord prolapse. Next class we will see another condition that comes under the obstetrical emergency.